Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Pat, and if you're wondering where Andy is, she's not going to be joining today's video because it is a build guide for Eldryn. Some of you have asked in our comments in our previous video if we could make a guide for how to build Eldryn. So I've gone ahead and I've done some research to compile some different builds for you guys. So if you're new to our channel, please don't forget to give us a like, subscribe, and comment down below if you like more content like this. Usually, we typically do weekly summons, so stay tuned for those as well. Alright guys, so let's hop right into the build. I'm on the FFBE Equip Builder website. If you've seen our previous videos before, I've mentioned a lot of the time that I don't really use the builder. So bear with me as I go through this. And also just want to give you guys a heads up that my laptop is quite close to the camera, so I'm hoping that you guys don't hear the fan. But anyways, we're going to go into his normal form first. And the first build that I did, it ran for a pretty long time actually, and it didn't complete. But based on what we got, this is the cream of the crop for his normal form. It's filled with STMRs. And so if we take a look at it, we got HP plus it's 13,794. The attack is at 4,142, and magic is sitting at 3,927. Now, based on this build, the attack is capped out at 410%, but the magic is only sitting at 390%. So you can see that I probably should have ran this for longer, but it's still pretty high. And if we go down, we see that the weapons that are equipped are his STMR in both hands. And then for the helm, for the hat piece, we got the red hellebore. And then we have the toy soldier's uniform for the light armor piece. And then for the actual accessories, we have his TMR, the Admiral's Medal, and then Peace Finders, which is Neo Vision Fiscalis's STMR. And then if we look at the materia here, we have Wings That Transcend Time, GF Extension, Originator of the Final Summoning, and then Secret of Mana. And when we look at the vision card, we got Starlight Elena's vision card, which is Azur's successor, and then the builder just put on Ashura for the Esper. Now, these gear are pretty tough to obtain, I would say. First of all, the red hellebore, I mean, if you're not doing a lot of EX summons, you may not have this piece of gear. I just got it recently when I got my Carlet, so I was really, really happy. The Toy Soldier's uniform, now this is something that you can easily get for this Christmas event because of the rainbow up. And if you are pulling for Eldryn, you probably got some Felix along the way. So this is not too bad to get. Now, if we look at Wings That Transcend Time, this was a limited gear that you had to play and summon for War of the Visions Gilgamesh. So that right there is probably difficult to get. And then Secret of Mana, again, this is a limited time piece of materia, so also difficult there. And then Originator of the Final Summoning, this one, I actually don't know where it's from, so I'm gonna have to look it up. It's from Unileska. If you guys manage to get 4 copies of her, then you know that's great there. And again, I didn't run this for the longest time, so this may not be the most optimal build, but you can see that his attack and magic are pretty high with pretty decent HP. Now, if we go into the budget build that I created, so a few things. If we go into the budget build, the HP is still high. It's sitting at 13,000 as well. The attack is not capped. It's sitting at 350%, and it's sitting at 3,336. The magic, however, is capped at 410%, and we're sitting at 3,331. Now let's go into the actual equipment. So if we look here, if you have Eldryn, I'm assuming you're going to be using an STMR Moogle on him. And so that's why I have the Snow Seeker here. And also just want to mention that all these stats are based off of a fully potted Eldryn that is EX plus 1. So I didn't go up to EX plus 2 or EX plus 3. I'm just basing it off of EX plus 1. And even though this is a budget build, I'm assuming that you're able to complete the latest trial, so you'll be able to get the Enhancer Plus Plus. And if you are able to get the Enhancer Plus Plus, then you must have the curl headpiece, because you have to beat the Behemoth before you can even do the other trial. And then this is super budget here because there aren't many hybrid chest pieces. So what I've added here is the QB Cloak, which gives 25 attack and 30 magic. And then obviously if you have Eldryn, you're definitely going to have his TMR, so Admiral's Medal is here again. And then if you were around for the Starlight Elena event, which I'm sure you must have been, unless you're like a brand new player, then you'll have the Amphitrite Starlight Cloak, which is a really good piece of gear that gives attack plus 40, magic plus 40, and then magic plus 30%. So if you were to upgrade it to the other version, it will give you 30% attack. So you can change it on whatever your needs are. Now, if you have been the Behemoth trial, you'll have the Rage Beast Might materia, and I just realized the curl headpiece is not from the Behemoth, so I don't know. Sorry for that mistake, guys. The curl headpiece is actually from the curl trial, so you don't have to have been the Behemoth to unlock that. It should be there just in general, unless I'm mistaken. But anyways, going back, you have the Rage Beast Might, which is really good from the trial. Gives 50 attack and magic %. And then I'm sure all of you must have this if you have been playing the game for a while. You should have Adventurer 5, which gives attack, defense, magic, and spirit plus 40% to everything, so that's great there. And then if you were around during the anniversary, I think that was the correct event, you had the option to choose an STMR when you traded in the tickets. And Yin Yang Dual Hand was one of those STMRs, and I'm sure a lot of people chose it. And we also did a video way back when this event was around that this was one of the STMRs that you should probably pick up. So I'm putting it there based on that assumption. Now, the fourth materia slot is usually saved for killers or whatnot. So you can put whatever you want there. Of course, you have to remember that there's 50% attack missing from this budget build. So you can put any attack materia there if you want, but I would recommend, you find an attack materia that also has killers on it. So if we look at the vision card, I put the 4th anniversary celebration there because everyone should have that, because this is a budget build. And then the Esper you can change to your liking, but I just put Bahamut for the sake of this video. Now, if we go into the mixed build, this is making more assumptions on what you have, but let's see what I got. So for this one, the HP is a little bit lower. We're sitting at 11.5k HP, but the attack and the magic are higher. So the attack is sitting at 390% and 3,686. The magic is capped out again at 420% and it's sitting at 3,808. Now, if we look at the actual gear, this is a mixed build here where maybe you didn't want to do the brand new Intanger trial. So I still have the Snow Seeker here based on the same assumptions. And let's say you somehow managed to get 4 copies of the brand new Ash. So you would have the Sword of Kings, and it's a sword that has 171 magic. So instead of the Enhancer, which has 173 attack and lower magic, you're basically swapping the stats around, and you'll have the magic on the high end and then the attack on the lower end. Now, we're still having the curl headpiece because this trial is pretty easy to two-shot if you have Tifa, which I'm sure everyone does. And then let's say that you did get the correct amount of Felix during your Eldryn pulls, so you would have the Toy Soldier's uniform, and then the same accessories here again, with the same materia, with the exception, instead of the Adventurer 5, we now have Warrior of the Crystal, because maybe you have Elena's STMR, and then maybe you also pulled for Starlight Elena and you have her vision card. Now, you may be wondering, why not use Elena's vision card on herself if you have Starlight Elena? Well, if we look at the damage calculations, Eldryn is the #1 chainer for hybrids right now, so to give him all your best hybrid gear is a good choice. So here you would put Starlight Elena's vision card there, and it beefs them up a little bit more. Now, if we go into the final build, which is going to be how I'm going to build my Eldryn, the HP is again lower, so sitting at 11.5k. The attack that I have is actually capped out at 400%, so it's sitting at 3,924. The magic is sitting a little bit lower, which is at 3,775, also capped out at 400%. And you'll see here that I'm going to have both his hands filled with his STMR because I pulled 2 copies, and I already used a STMR Moogle on one of my Eldrins. So the other one, once the event is over, I'm going to turn him into shards, and I'm going to have an EX plus 2 Eldryn that will then give me 2 copies of his STMR. Now, you may be wondering, well, if you got Carla's STMR, why are you not putting it on your Eldryn? Well, that's because I actually have it sitting on my Tifa to give her a little bit more attack. So I also will be using the curl headpiece, and then I've got a lot of Felix, so I will be using the Toy Soldier's uniform, and then 2 copies of his TMR. And what's nice here is that because I have both STMRs and both TMRs, it really boosts the percentage magic and attack. So that leaves me more room for killers. So you'll see here that I got Rage Beast Might, same as the other ones. I did pull on War of the Visions Gilgamesh. So I do have Wings that Transcend Time. Now, that leaves me with 20% missing for attack and magic, which is why I put Demonic Destruction, which gives attack plus 20 and magic plus 20%, but it also gives you some killers, which is really nice. And now I have the last materia slot that I can put any other killer that I want there. So that's my build for Eldryn. Now, let's hop right into his Brave Shift form. Alright, now let's hop into his Brave Shift form. Now, the Brave Shift form is really nice because it has 100% Beast Killer on it, but the problem with it is that it is locked to ice. Now, something that I noticed when I was doing the builder is another positive for his Brave Shift form is that he actually gets more passive stats, it seems. So it's a lot easier to build him, and we'll see this when we go through the build. So in the full STMR build that I've done, I actually ran this one longer than his normal form, so let's hope that it turns out a little bit better than the previous one. But his HP is sitting at 11.9k roughly, and the attack is capped out 440% at 4,177, and then the magic is capped out at 420%, 4,066 magic. And if we go down into the gear, his STMR is in both hands. We got the red Hellebore, the Toy Soldier's uniform, same as usual, but this time it's a little bit different. The builder put 2 Peace Finders in the accessory slot. Now, that seems kind of far-fetched to me. I don't think this is going to be possible, so I would probably replace that Peace Finders with his TMR. And then we got the same things as the previous form. We got the GF extension, Wings That Transcend Time, Originator of the Final Summoning, and Secret Mana. But the difference here is they actually put A Day in the Life of Physalis for the Vision card. Now, I don't know if this is because the builder didn't get to optimize fully, but it does give 65 attack and 65 magic. But if you are at max level, it will give you attack plus 30% and magic plus 30%. So that's the full STMR build. Really good stats, I would say. So if we go into the budget build, the HP is still pretty high. It's sitting at 11k. And then if we go down to the attack, it's capped out at 400% and is sitting at 3,550. And then if we look at the magic, it's capped out at 460%, but it's sitting at 3,355. And again, we have the Snow Seeker in one hand and the Enhancer Plus Plus in the other. Curl Head piece, QB Cloak for the chest piece, and then we got Admiral's Medal and the Amphitrite Starlight Cloak again. We have the exact same materia as the normal form, so Rage Beast Might, Adventure 5, and Yin Yang Dual Hand. But you'll see that the magic and attack is actually capped out while using the 4th anniversary card. So if you remember from the normal form, we actually didn't cap out the attack. So that's nice there that we have that one extra materia slot here that you can just do a pure killer. You don't have to worry about finding a killer with attack on it. Now if we go into the mixed build, you'll see that the HP takes quite a hit. We go down to 9.6k HP, which by today's standards is pretty low, because usually Neo Vision units have high HP. If you look at our previous ones like Cloud, Tifa, some of the other guys, they are sitting at higher HP. But in his Brave Shift form, Eldryn is sitting kind of low in my opinion. But if we look at the attack and magic, and that is our cat whining because the door is closed on her. So don't mind her, guys. The attack is at 440% and 3,755, and then the magic is 410%, 3,833. The attack and magic are still pretty high, I would say, for this mixed build. And again, for the mixed build, I use the same equipment. We got the Snow Seeker, Sword of Kings, and then we got the Curl Headpiece, Toy Soldier's Uniform, and etc. Now, the thing about this is that we have Rage Beast Might and Yin Yang Dual Hand, and this caps us out on our attack and magic. Now, I had to keep the Yin Yang Dual Hand because we need that extra true dual wield percent, because he has that strange 25% coming from his TMR. So if you have 2 copies of his TMR, it kind of solves that problem. But you'll see here that I put Graceful Footwork. So the attack was not capped, and Graceful Footwork gives a lot of different killers plus attack percentage. So I put that there to cap out the attack, but we also have the 4th materia slot here that you can put any other killer that you like because the attack and magic are capped out. So very nice in his Brave Shift form. It seems a lot easier to cap out his stats. And again, we have Elena's vision card there. Now if we go on to the final build, which is how I'm going to be building my Eldryn in his Brave Shift form. Again, the HP is pretty low, and you have to remember that this HP is when it is fully potted. So it's sitting at 9.6k as well. The attack and magic are a little bit better, if my memory serves me correct. So I'm sitting at 410% for both attack and magic, and the attack is 3,950 and the magic is 3,800. Right on the dot. I've never seen that before. And then if we go into the equipment, again, it's the same. We got 2 of his STMR in both hands, the Curl Headpiece, Toy Soldier's Uniform, and then both his TMR in the accessory slot. And as I had mentioned, it's really nice that you can easily cap out his attack and magic. So you'll see here, we only got 2 materia, Rage Beast Might and Adventurer 5. The 3rd and 4th materia slot are actually empty, so you can put 2 killers on here. You can beef up that HP if you really wanted to, and I know there's one STMR where it boosts HP and increases, I believe it's Human Killer. I think it's Night Deleta's STMR, so really good there. I also got the Starlight Elena's vision card there. So all in all, I would say his Brave Shift form is really good to, you know, cap out your stats. Sucks that your HP is a little low, but that's my build for him. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video where I went through the different types of builds. There are many different weapons that you can put into Eldryn's hands. So I only showcased the one that I thought might be suitable. I mean, you could mix and match. You could put a rod in one hand, and a lot of you guys have Sora. You could put Sora's sword in his other hand and just use his TMR if you didn't get his STMR. So a lot of different options, but I didn't want to go through every single different type of equipment piece that you could put in his hands. That's entirely up to you guys, and also depending on what kind of gear you have. I just did a general, you know, what you may have, and also all the free gear that is available to you. So I hope that was helpful. If you guys like content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment down below if you want to discuss your build, or you know, if there's ways that can optimize, or maybe I missed something. So let us know, and hope you guys have a safe and happy new year, and look forward to seeing you guys in our next summon video. Bye!